I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile. Your life, as it has been, is over. From this time forward, you will service us. Mr. Worf, fire.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 26, and Season 4, Episode 1, The Best of Both Worlds, first aired back in 1990, but here in 2026 on Live Long and Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio version wherever you get your podcasts, our mission to rewatch every episode of TNG continues. One Borg cube, one impossible decision, and one cliffhanger that traumatized an entire generation. And now this is your captain speaking. I am your host, Dave of Borg, and resistance is futile. But we have a great panel here to break it all down, a supersized panel, if you will. Coming in first, my father, and a lifelong fan of the original series. He's never been the biggest supporter of the newer Trek, but if there's one TNG story he'll go to bat for, it's this one. The Borg, the stakes, the drama, the best of both worlds is Ted approved. It's Ted Mater.
It's awesome. One of the best series they ever had. One of the best shows they ever had.
Yes, it's a good show. Your Sam in the comments has been excited for your return to the podcast. Calls you the GOAT.
Sam, I'm back.
He's back, and he's here to take us away.
The greatest of all time. I love it.
The greatest of all of them all. Of course, with us once again, stylish, sharp, and tuned into the emotional core. She's watching every moment of fear, resolve, and heartbreak as the Enterprise faces the Borg. When compassion collides with assimilation, she is the goddess of empathy. It is Heather Narduzzi.
Hello, I am often the goddess of empathy, but tonight I am the Borg expert, Commander Shelby, the sexy, competent, badass Commander Shelby.
Yeah, don't tell Riker that. Well, maybe
he doesn't want to hear it.
He does well until he makes her first officer. So I guess it's all right. So welcome, Heather or Shelby, whichever moniker we're going on. Ted needs to be on every. Well, there you go, Dad. They're calling for you. Of course, where he's tracking the power dynamics. Riker versus Shelby, Starfleet versus the Borg, Picard versus the machine that stole his humanity. And when this episode asks what it means to lead under impossible pressure, he's locked in. It's Adam Woodward.
Hey guys, Heather, I always had a thing for Shelby, so thanks for this tonight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, Elizabeth Dennehy, daughter of Brian Dennehy, as we were just discussing at the top of the show. Yeah. And of course, some people don't always go with what he says, but others do. Our technologist and cynic in chief. This week, he's questioning the Borg's tech, the Enterprise's defenses, and whether Starfleet should have seen this coming a long time before Locutus stepped onto that view screen. Jody Simpson, everyone.
Hello, Dave. How are you?
I'm
well. Ted is back.
Yes, it's an original series reunion here.
It is. I'm feeling it.
Yes. A couple of years after it all. And so excited to break this all.
5 years. 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Actually, it'll be 6 years in the summer. So
Yes, absolutely. So we are talking the best of both worlds tonight, everyone. Of course, the cliffhanger for season 3 that led into season 4. People had to wait from June 18th, 1990, all the way till September 24th, 1990, to find out what happened in part 2. Can you believe it? What a wait! Now it's like a season ends, and it's like 5 years later you'll get like the second season that will pick up on that. And then, like, assuming that they won't pick, but like this was, big TV moment back in 1990. I think I remember watching it when like that cliffhanger aired. Dad, like, I don't know if you remember watching it. Like,
it was the second coming of the Dallas of Who Shot JR.
It was the second, and I didn't live through. Well, I guess I was alive through the Who Shot JR, but I was a baby or very young at that time, so that cultural moment passed me by. But.
What about Who Shot Mr. Burns, Dave? Do you remember
that? No, that one I definitely knew. Yeah, that one I was definitely big on.
Sucked.
That was great. The payoff was maybe, I'll stand by that one. Anyway, we are talking about the 74th and 75th episodes of Next Generation, both written by Michael Piller, both directed by Cliff Bull. The Borg return with a terrifying mission to conquer Earth. Captain Picard is captured, assimilated, he becomes Locutus of Borg, and then the Federation then gets on the brink of collapse after Wolf 359. The fleet gets decimated here. There's this heroic things. Riker gets promoted to captain. He works with this guest star, Shelby, as played by Elizabeth Dennehy, this up and coming officer that becomes his new first officer. Just to leave by the end of the two-parter. There's a lot going on.
They came back though.
What's that?
We don't see her again for many years.
We didn't see her on screen again, until Star Trek Picard when they killed her off. So, they were liking to. There was a joke that they killed off Shelby in that season of Picard, and they also killed off Rolera in that season. Spoilers, I guess, for season 3 of Picard. And those were both the women that like Riker butted heads with, and like, what's the connection here to women?
Riker had them all killed.
Had them all killed, or had them written out of the shows.
For anyone who likes to read Star Trek novels, if you read Peter David's New Frontier series, which takes some canon characters, including Shelby, and puts them on a new ship called the Excalibur with Captain Mackenzie Calhoun. And Shelby's the first officer, and there's a lot of sexual tension between them. It's a really fun dynamic, and I really like Peter David's writing. He also wrote Imzadi 2, Q-in-Law, which is probably my favorite Star Trek novel. So if you're interested in that and you like Shelby, check it out. New Frontier.
He also wrote Q Squared back in the day, which I read. That was a good one too. Yes, and so Elizabeth Dennehy playing this Lieutenant Commander Shelby. By the end of the episode, full Commander Shelby. But not the only guest star. We also have George Murdoch, who plays Admiral J.P. Hansen in this one, who I think actually does a great job. He's only in part 1, but he's
a little creepy though when it comes.
Fun fact: he played God in Final Frontier.
Oh,
is that the voice of God?
The voice of God.
He said, "What does God need with a starship?" Oh, that was Shatner's thing.
No, Shatner said that.
In that uprising when they sent all the ships to take on the Borg, was he killed then?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets killed. You know when like the screen goes off and Data just kind of goes, that's the end of him there.
We're going to regroup.
Yeah, so this is usually the part before we jump through and we run through the episodes. Tonight's 2 episodes we're going to run through the screenshots on, but I think we all like this episode or this two-parter, right? Is there any I guess thoughts people want to share off the top before we jump into that?
I got some gripes, but we'll do those during the scenes.
I've got some gripes as well.
Yeah.
But
a couple of things that don't make sense, but
no, this is a great point here from Norman in chat. Same last name as Annika Hansen. Always wondered if he was her grandfather. I've thought about that as well, if there's any connection. Do we know if that ever came up in canon anywhere?
It never came up in canon, but I wouldn't be totally shocked if that's maybe why they chose that last name for 7-9.
I will find out for you. Let's see what I can find out.
For fun facts, please.
Fun facts.
Right, because technically, there's some rules around who creates these characters, and I guess this would be a Michael Piller character technically, because he wrote these episodes.
That's right. As we know, when they continue characters from an episode by one writer into the next, then the original writer has to be credited for that. So they often try to stay away from doing that.
Yeah, that's right. So, but Michael Piller passed away before I think they even made that Voyager episode. So I don't even know how much that would or wouldn't have been a consideration. I bet our friend Norman would know that kind of thing. He's always good with that kind of.
Yeah, where's Norman?
JP is not related to Annika.
Okay, there you go. Okay. It's a different spelling, maybe, right? Or is it the same?
Same.
I think it's the same.
It is the same.
But there's
Sam says, do you think this episode would have the same effect as it did back then? Because now we get leaks more and there's more time between seasons. I don't think necessarily that it would have, because it was such a cultural phenomenon at the time, and we didn't have as much to choose from then as we do now. You know, there's like 3 channels and you watch what's on TV.
Yeah, and they really cared about like what a finale was and what a premiere was back in those days. Unlike today, where we just are just disappointed with everything that is released.
I think he's touching on For All Mankind there.
Some shows.
For All Mankind season opener was terrible.
Yes, it was.
But that's a different podcast, everyone. And we're talking about this one. I like this was the beginning also of Star Trek in that era doing cliffhangers at the end of seasons, because like they did the original pilot for this show, Encounter at Farpoint, is a 2-part episode, and there wasn't another 2-part until this point, the end of season 3, and then this will become a formula that they'll do over and over again. Like there will be a cliffhanger at the end of season 4 here, and you know, in season 5, I think it's so. At the end of I think at the end of this season, it's like the Klingon Civil War when Worf leaves, and then there's the season where Data joins up with Lore and they're teamed up with the Borg and all that. That's like another cliffhanger, and of course Voyager had a whole bunch of its own cliffhangers, and Deep Space for that matter. So. And I guess Enterprise as well. So like that was just like what they would, and they kind of introduced it here. I think Michael Piller in particular punched his card, on this with this 2-parter as the writer of this 2-parter. He goes on to become a co-creator of Deep Space Nine after this, and or a couple of years after this, right? And so like a lot was established in this 3rd season, and this was almost like the pinnacle of success, where the show really, gets past those early years they were struggling with more. Especially the first 2 seasons, and then, there was like that kind of like boom. And there's all this other drama going on behind the scenes. You got Patrick Stewart, not sure if he wants to continue with the show. And
that's part of the reason why he was written this way for the season.
Yeah. Like they were like, well, maybe we'll kill you off. Maybe you're going to be a Borg forever. And we'll just promote Jonathan Frakes to the lead of the show. Right. And that nearly did happen here. So I don't know. It would have been a different timeline in that scenario.
Yeah, I think in an interview I heard that what's his name? Patrick Stewart. He ended up having like last minute discussions before they had to like finalize the script and start shooting. So
going into season 4, right?
Yeah. Apparently it was like very last minute. Sorry? I didn't.
Yeah, he was saying more money. He probably was like they were negotiating.
Yeah, I'm sure that was part of it.
And to be fair, like the cast was underpaid. Like they were paid less than scale, like for what they were doing. Like the Paramount like to really they like to bring in a lot of these unknown actors, like Patrick Stewart, who wasn't known in America, who was a good actor but like not a big star, right? And they kind of paid them really low. And the reason they end up canceling the show after 7 seasons was their salaries kept going up, and they're like, well, let's just like end the show and we'll start a new Star Trek show with like
and we'll pay them barely anything again.
And we'll barely pay them, and then we'll continue that formula, right?
Well, when TNG began, I would say that Will Wheaton and LeVar Burton had the most name recognition, having come off Stand By Me and Roots.
Yeah, I think you're right. LeVar Burton, probably the most famous of the two, or the whole cast in America. Like I think Patrick Stewart might have been known in England, I guess.
Absolutely.
But Jonathan Frakes was from. I mean, if Ted will remember North and South. Remember that?
The miniseries North and South.
Yeah.
Who was in North and South? Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes.
Frakes was in it.
Yeah, he's got a great story about Patrick Swayze and David Carradine getting drunk at a bar and nearly jumping out of a hotel window on the 15th floor because they wanted to show who could fly. It's great. I recommend checking
I'm
out
not sure
that.
we have time on it.
We don't have time for all that right now, but that's just a little
think we
segue.
should
That's on
just get
their
right into it.
podcast, Dropping Names. You can check that out after
Yes.
our podcast.
They jumped in the one.
They did. They dropped in on us to say hi, which was very nice.
Yeah. Dropping names.
Dropping names.
You know.
Now we're dropping names. Dropping names.
We're
Dropping names.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, along with like Elizabeth Dennehy and George Murdoch and Whoopi Goldberg. I also want to call out.
Goldberg.
Yeah, she's great in this episode.
She's got really only two scenes in this.
Yeah.
One in the first part, one in the second part. They are killer. They're maybe my two favorite scenes in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so
Anyway,
great stuff.
Let's get moving on.
Anyway, let's get into it. We got the slides. We got the screenshots, and we're going to run through. So we start off here, Captain's log. We have been called by distress call to this distant colony. We haven't heard anything, and they said that all subspace communication's been cut off. Right, as Riker leads an away team consisting of Data, Worf, and Geordi beam down to the surface. They asked to confirm the coordinates because they're like, aren't we supposed to be in the center of like the settlement, like the center of the colony? And he goes, yep, you are. You are in the middle of town. And they then pull their phasers, realize I'm sure they could have detected all this from orbit. But anyway, they see it with their own eyes here and find out that not only is it's all been destroyed. Like the entire
planet is turned into a really good water painting.
Yeah, it's been turned into a really good matte painting.
Matte painting, yeah.
Yeah, and they've scooped them
Pretty
out,
cool,
and
though.
we pan away, and we just see, like it's all been scooped. I don't think they even say Borg. Like we don't even know it's the
No, you
Borg
have
yet.
no idea what this is yet.
You just know a Federation colony has been destroyed, and that is our teaser for this two-parter, right?
It's probably one of the fastest teasers of all of the show.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's very short and very impactful.
It's like a minute. It's a minute long or something like that. Yeah.
And what what they also do really well, they're like, Next Generation has this musical sort of style, and they have kind of standard score. But this two-parter, like the music is a little different. Those metal bastards, yes. And so they do a lot with setting the mood with just like the ominous, sort of instrumentals. Then we find out after the credits, based on Picard's voiceover, that it is the Borg, and that Admiral J.P. Hansen has arrived here to talk to deal with the situation. And we start off here with this meeting in the ready room with Captain Picard and Riker, along with J.P. Hansen and Lieutenant Commander Shelby. And we get to meet both of them here. They're saying, we've been preparing for the Borg since you first met them. That was back in season 2 when Q flung them in front of the Borg cube. And he's like, we're not ready. We're we're working on all these new weapons. We're working on these.
Tell me about this shirt. How do you feel about it?
I love this Admiral's uniform.
I love this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's got like the little
snazzy.
glitter trim and the arm detail. Love it.
Oh, compared to some of the other more I'd say bizarre Admiral's uniforms we saw in the first 2 seasons, this is fine. And I love that they just stuck with it. They picked an Admiral's uniform, and they pretty much don't change it throughout the rest of the show.
Yeah,
after this
stays this for a little while.
Yeah,
Ted,
so it's good.
Ted, are you gonna get one of these?
Yeah, this one looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If you find it, let me know.
Dave will order it.
Anyway, so there's this discussion here, and we get to meet Shelby a bit, and she's the one working on all these new ideas, but they're going to need. They're not ready yet. That's kind of like this meeting here, and then as it breaks, Riker tries to invite the Admiral to their poker game, which the Admiral says, "Oh, that's for young men to play poker. I don't do that anymore. I got too much to talk to the captain about. But Shelby, she's quite the poker player. You should bring her to the poker game." And Riker, there's such. I was watching this today, and I was like, Riker has such negative body language with Shelby, almost from the beginning, right before they even have reason to have conflict.
I think somebody went to him and said, "We need you to act like you're repulsed by her." Like that's literally what he does.
Is that what the director did, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's like literally he backs up every time he's talking to her, and I don't know why, but that is one of the gripes I had in this episode.
Yeah, it's a little off. Anyway, so after that happens, JP's like, she's a very impressive young woman. You should keep your eye on her. And Picard's like, oh, you fancy her? He's like, no, just old man's fantasies. That was maybe...
that line.
And every woman watching it cringes.
Dude, I'm not even a woman, and I cringed. I was like,
oh yeah,
this doesn't feel right.
That's an inside your head thought, Admiral.
Yeah. Well, Picard did prompt it.
Yeah. So, guys, that this whole season, Riker's been annoying me.
Yeah.
And this is the climax of this, because he acts like a child through this whole episode.
He does.
And when they get to this whole this discussion here, he's been offered a promotion 3 times and hasn't taken it.
Yeah. Been offered the captain's.
The only thing these first officers want to be is a captain.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then Riker becomes a captain in this episode just to give it up.
No. He becomes a captain by mistake. He doesn't want to be a captain. No. And he can't even make decisions when he becomes a captain.
But he could. Realistically, he wasn't that great of a captain.
He saved the entire Federation.
Did he?
What are you talking about? Not a great captain. Anyway, so
he progressed throughout the episode, yes. But
JP Hansen says here to Picard, like, Riker, we keep pulling out this captain chair for Riker. He doesn't sit down, and like officers like Shelby are gonna pass him. Whatever. He's hurting his career, and Picard hears this advice, and he's gonna talk to Riker shortly after this about it. Although Riker will go on to be Picard's first officer, not even for like the rest of Next Generation. He'll do it like well into the movies for like another 7 years after that. So it's like 15 years he'll be Picard's first officer. Tom would have accepted quickly.
Any first officer would have accepted the first promotion.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Not Riker. Anyway, so Shelby's looking to get that job. She thinks Riker's gonna leave, and she's like, is serving on the Enterprise amazing? He's like, that's great. She's like, well, I heard you were leaving. He's like, well, I'm not sure about any of that. Whatever. So there's immediately this defensiveness. Like if Riker acting like a child pretty much starts here. And will progress from anyway, where he's not super impressed. And then she's
getting. I don't necessarily think he's acting like a child. I think he's thrown off his guard and then is questioning himself, which he doesn't usually do, or we don't see him doing.
Yeah,
he's very insecure around.
So he's like off kilter. He's unsettled. And to speak to Jodi's point earlier of like how he's immediately, his body language is repulsed away from Shelby. That is very telling as well, because Riker is very warm with everybody who comes on board, especially attractive people.
Yeah.
You know?
But there's I don't know if he plays it here. He invites her to the poker game, which is where we go to next.
But look, he's leading away from her there.
Yeah,
he is. Anyway, a lot of this early poker is about Wesley Crusher has never been invited to the poker game before.
Wesley Crusher being a loser. That's
So they're teaching
2 jacks looking back for the handsome young ensign.
3 jacks, I think.
3 jacks.
But
you're right. Yeah, you're right. And then he looks so pleased. I just think it's a nice little moment to transition him into being one of the adults now.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, and so they're saying like, oh, Commander Riker might be bluffing Wesley, Data in particular, explaining this to him. And so Wesley folds, and they say, you got a lot to learn about poker, kid. But then Shelby is willing to call that bluff to Riker, and Riker has to kind of.
And at this point, he's literally like, I've lost all my masculinity. I am putty now. I am nothing.
Well, I think that Shelby,
but...
I think he's also kind of like
he's threatened by her, clearly.
But he's, maybe a bit.
Rightfully so, because she clearly
she just won all the fake money. So come on.
I got you.
I got you.
It does read as he's threatened by her, which doesn't track with
Riker
the Riker that
at all,
I think of, like he's
I think
confidence
this is actually
and-
Riker's double. I think
Pardon?
something happened.
This
This
is
is Riker's
actually-
double.
Heather, this actually tracks with exactly how Riker's been acting this whole season.
Yeah, the whole season.
Like
He's
he doesn't really offer value. He makes silly comments. I don't know. Again, at this point in the season, he's like a superfluous officer. Shelby's coming on to do work that he can't do.
Yeah.
Right.
She's an expert in the Borg. He's not. So-
And, right. And no wonder he feels threatened. Because she
Well,
wants his job. She knows he's been offered another one. He's not ready to make it.
I don't think he's used to like not having all that. Like, there's the dynamic he has with Picard, but everyone else on the crew, he's used to everyone kind of deferring to him, right, and like treating him with a little bit more, I guess, status. And Shelby doesn't fully give that to him.
Jamie Lynn, that's
exactly.
Like this,
Right.
I used to be a big Riker fan until really this rewatch. As we've been watching.
Well, okay. So the next scene here is like, in the transporter room, and like so it was Geordi and Riker were planning to meet Data and Shelby for the survey on the planet, and O'Brien tells Riker and Geordi that she's already beamed down like an hour ago, and that Riker does not like that, and I think that Riker has some
No, he doesn't. Like
he's in. There's a chain of command, Adam. Like you have to.
What change? Yes, I guess she reports to him in this whole thing.
Yes.
So listen, you're gonna complain that somebody got up earlier than you and
Yes.
actually went to work.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am, and he is right to.
I like her. She should be promoted immediately.
Well, there you go.
Exactly. She's clearly the better officer, like no question here.
But it's a change, like her. This is changing her orders, and like when Data gets confused by the whatever she says, and Geordi's like, "Yeah, she erred." I agree with Geordi here. Like, he's a commander. She is a lieutenant commander.
If they went down there and got ambushed by something, that they didn't know was there.
Well, that's her counter argument. Who cares, right? Like, with two more bodies, doesn't matter. But
No, I know what it's saying. That's why they shouldn't go alone.
she's and I guess this whole idea that she's a bit more ambitious, she's a bit more of a risk taker, and he's playing it safe is kind of the theme of these two throughout the
Sleeping
Which
in.
is not how he sees himself and not how he was when he first came onto the Enterprise. So that the internal struggle of, am I seasoned? Am I safe? Is this who I am or who I want to be?
Like, I think a lot of people remember the Best of Both Worlds as all but being about Picard becoming Locutus, and it is. But really, like, this is a
really what
Riker.
the story's about.
It's a Riker-driven story, and how he's maturing, I guess, and and what he wants in life. But anyway, so after Riker and Shelby have their little moment here, she says, "Yeah, we found the footprint. It is the Borg, and we know what we're dealing." So, dun dun dun, which transitions us over to the next scene with Riker and Picard talking in the ready room. They're, Picard asks Riker about Shelby, and Picard and Riker says, "I think she needs supervision." He's like, "Oh, just like how you used to need supervision." When
He
you first
still needs supervision.
Yeah, well, there you go. Remember that time you messed around with that guy's wife, and then he tried to kill you and all that? And it was a matter of perspective, really. That was just earlier this season. Anyway, but then Picard challenges Riker, like, "Why are you still here? Why haven't you taken the promotion? Why you're hurting your career?" And trying to, as a friend, I think more than anything to Riker here. And Riker's like, "Well, I love the Enterprise, and I like being on Star Trek: The Next Generation. So this is where you got to be."
Where I am.
Yeah.
Sure, this season I might be phoning it in a bit, but no big deal.
Right. Well, he was learning to be a director, in the season too. So maybe that's what you're picking up on. Then Riker goes to 10-4 to talk to Troy about it. Why am I still here? Why haven't I taken the promotion? I gave up all these things to like move up the ladder, move up the chain of command. I in particular his relationship with Deanna, that he kind of put to the side for a number of years so he could, do this. And now he's on he could have his own ship tomorrow if he wants it, but it will get blown up at Wolf 359 and he would die. So we can't have that. And this is where she says, "You're a little older now, a little more seasoned," which Men don't want to apparently be told that they're seasoned, unless they're salt and pepper, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so he goes, maybe I'm too comfortable. She goes, I don't know what that means. You're happy here. Why can't you just embrace that? And that's ultimately, I think, the advice he will take by the end of this story is that if I want to stay here and be a first officer, then that's my business.
Well, but the other part is the whole fleet's destroyed. There's no ships to give them.
Well, that was part of what Picard just said. Even before the fleet was destroyed, Picard said, we need good captains right now. You would think you would especially need good captains after like so many of them get killed in that battle, right? Anyway, so then they're working down in engineering later on, trying to figure out the Borg thing. You get this idea it's a late night meeting, and Shelby wants to keep going until like the all hours to work on these new weapons and everything else. But Riker says, no, we need to sleep. We need rest. Did this annoy you, Adam? She's like, can I stay up with Data? He's like, he doesn't need to sleep. And she's like, you do. He's like, you do. Can't be fighting fatigue while you're fighting the Borg.
Like the main rule here is Riker's not wrong, but he's a dick. Like that's literally what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole gist of it, right?
And don't challenge his authority, I guess, is kind of the other vibe.
Ah!
Yeah. So it keeps having these clashes here with Shelby Minor. The next is a conference call here with JP, with the Picard and his senior staff, saying that they are, they were talking about some colony being attacked by the Borg next, and the Enterprise tries to set course to intercept that. And they're planning to make their stand at Wool 359. This is where Admiral Hansen first, explains that will lead to the massacre there. What else happens in this conversation, guys? Just that they're working on different kinds of weapons. Picard, a little bit later on, he's kind of like,
I did like the fact that they emphasized his. If you go back to that. If you notice the way that they've shot the scene, they've made it so it's perfectly symmetrical for both his reflection and him.
Oh yeah,
like what's going to be happening to him. Yeah,
they do a lot here. A good job of like just the weight of the situation, the gravity of it all on Picard, how much the pressure he feels, and I think that how that's
framing is intentional for sure,
and how that's going to transfer immediately to Riker, and how that's going to the crown is going to become so heavy out for him right as soon as he's thrust into that role. Picard, as he's approaching, they're getting ready for this encounter here with the Borg, and
he's pacing.
He's pacing around the bridge, and then they finally get close enough to.
This is the first time we get to see the plaque, though, isn't it?
Where's that?
The first time, you think?
Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
The plaque is over on that side.
Yeah.
I think we've seen
I think it is in this episode.
I feel like we've seen it before, but
maybe Adam will have that in fun facts. Who knows?
Anyway, the Borg, they didn't have to chase down the Borg. The Borg saw them and they immediately set course towards the Enterprise because they want Picard, as we'll find out. And this is the infamous line where Picard says, "Please hail Starfleet Command. We have engaged the Borg."
The Borg.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. The music is so good in this episode.
Yeah, such a great job.
The music in season 3 is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the Borg cube again, the sheer size of it, how it dwarfs the Enterprise, which itself is a massive ship.
And even that perspective doesn't give it correctly, because realistically, when they do the pullback shots, it's way smaller than that even.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So. Anyway, the Borg are hailing Picard by name, and we get the Borg saying "Hello, we're basically here to take you, Picard. We'd like you to beam over right now. We're going to Sector 001, or we're going to Earth."
Never mind Riker's promotion. He's getting a job as a PR guy.
Yeah. What are you still doing here, Picard?
You be the liaison for humanity. Yeah. And the Borg.
And this is because the way the Borg were set up in season 2, this idea of assimilation doesn't really get introduced till now, because it seemed the Borg were more taking technology and consuming it. But now there was and Shelby even says, "I thought they just wanted our technology, but their priorities have changed." Yeah. And so the Borg are here to take over. Anyway, so they're trying to put the tractor beam on. They're trying to get through the shields, and there's the first of many battles here as they're trying to get through their systems. They're being shaken. there's this one part where Shelby says, keep modulating the frequencies. And Riker's like, they have the power to adapt, Commander, you dummy.
Which is funny considering she knows more than him about this. But
I love this look she gives him, too. It's great.
It's just like, could you be any more of a cow? Yeah.
Anyway, so they're struggling. The Borg are starting to overwhelm their systems. They're firing everything they got. Oh, jeez. Whose hair? Whose hair?
Not yours, Dave.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah, they even I think this cutting beam, the Borg cutting beam makes a resurgence. It starts cutting into the engineering section, and we got a go moment here with Geordi as he has to evacuate engineering. We got a nice little
roll.
Oh, he does the barrel roll, you know.
This is the best. The barrel roll when he very easily could have walked under that without even carrying his knees. No problem.
No problem.
Would it have been as cool?
It would not.
Exactly.
And it was awesome.
It was great.
Like
cool
forever.
once in a
He's
while.
only following Starfleet safety protocol.
Yeah,
during-
you're supposed to stop,
an
drop,
event.
and roll.
That was not a stuntman, everyone. That was LeVar Burton right
That
there.
was LeVar Burton.
Yep.
Remember that episode where he was flying around the turbo lift? That was in there.
No coolant leak. Yeah, and we'll find out later that like 11 people in engineering died when this happened. Anyway, Shelby, you're right. So then Shelby, well, like Adam said, he would hire Shelby. Shelby gets right up there, like without prompting. She gets data to rotate the phaser frequencies, and this gives them the first chance of fighting back against the Borg. You know, the Enterprise starts firing here with these modulated frequencies. I love how they show the phaser being like all these different colors too, to kind of demonstrate
that was in the original release. I think
it was not. Like that was added later.
that was the CG rework. Yeah.
And Picard says, "Get us the hell out of here!" Now that we've kind of disabled the Borg for 10 seconds, and let's run away. But the Borg chase them down. The Borg are relentless.
Well, and every time they go fast, the Borg go faster. They're not going to get away, Dave.
Right. They're chasing here, and there's a little moment here with Picard and Shelby. I thought was interesting. I never remember this, where he puts his hand on her shoulder and he's like, "Okay, good job. I got it from here."
Well, he's like kind of like, you know, I got this. You know, it is my ship.
Yeah, still my ship.
Yeah, still my ship. Get out of here.
But she did save the day. She did.
Sure.
Yeah. Like Data didn't think of that on his own. Like she had to get him to do it. Anyway, then they hide in this purple nebula, which is
as
kind of
one does in Star Trek. As
one
all
does.
know.
The
There's a
fine
nebula, you can hide in it.
Yeah.
Gas cloud, anything like that.
Yeah, so Picard takes the Enterprise in where the Borg cannot follow, I guess they can, but they won't find them. And so they have kind of this reprieve here. Well, and they're not leaving, which Picard says, good. Well, if they're looking for us, then they're not going to be hurting other people. As the Enterprise continues this hiding period, they analyze like the battle from earlier when they were rotating the shield frequencies and what they can learn from that in the moment and how they might be able to use that to fight the Borg. And they come up with this plan of like turning the main deflector into like this weapon that can destroy the Borg ship if it has like these modulating frequencies that, you know, I guess it seems like, is it Wesley's plan that comes up with this in particular? Good job for the young ensign. But initially the plan would destroy half the Enterprise, so they have to figure out how to do it without blowing themselves up in the process.
That seems like a detail that needs to be addressed. Yeah.
Then we get this moment here with Riker and Shelby, where Shelby proposes this plan of like, why don't we separate the saucer section the next time we encounter the Borg? Just, you know, and Riker doesn't like it because he wants the power from the impulse engines. And she wants to take this. She wants the captain to make the decision, not Riker. And he's like, I decide what goes to the captain through me. We'll never know what he would have done because Shelby goes there directly, right after this conversation.
The saucer section has the impulse engines, but it doesn't have the warp. And then the lower section has both.
That's right.
So
But
why would that be a problem for him?
Because the impulse engine reactors that are in the saucer section, like they are part of the power of the ship, right? Like not all the power comes from the warp core, right? So he's saying like we might need the power from those engines.
All right,
you
that
know?
makes sense.
And, like there's this moment here with Geordi and Riker where he's like, she's a bit of a spitfire, but I think she can help us here. And Riker is like, yeah, I can handle Shelby. Don't worry. I'll figure her out. But we'll see. As we head over to the ready room, and who's talking to Captain Picard? It is Lieutenant Commander Shelby, which Riker is not too impressed by.
Like, look at his body posture as he walked in. It's like
Love it.
he's literally
thoroughly annoyed by it all. And Picard's like, yeah, I agree with you, number one, but like, let's like a fallback plan. Like, if we need to separate the saucer section, it's not we can do it. And we like to talk about how they almost never separate the saucer in this show. But this is the moment they're thinking about doing
when they do, they use the exact same animation they've already shot.
That's right. Well, they already got it.
That's always the same one.
So then we go into the turbo lift. Riker and Shelby want this conversation, which I guess happens like while everyone on the bridge can hear them having this conversation inside the turbo lift. I don't know how soundproof this turbo lifts are, but I think more
considering they fly down tubes really fast, I'm guessing probably pretty good.
Yeah, maybe because it does not move at all. Like he says, halt right away, and she's like, "You're in my way. You like to play it safe, and I take risks." And he's like, "When it comes to this crew, you're damn right. I play it safe. I'm looking to take care of people."
Reminds me of
I love
old
this
cowboy
scene.
movies.
I love this scene so much. The tension between both of them, and
she plays it so well too.
She does, as does he. When she says, "May I speak frankly?" and he says, "Please."
By all means.
By all means. He just looks so dangerous. Like, watch yourself.
He says he'll snap her back like a first-year cadet if you ever do a runaround about me.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Every time, it's like saying, with all due respect, it's never a compliment.
No, it's not going to be respectful.
Like the question was there, like so let's say in the timeline where Patrick Stewart does leave the show, right? And now Riker's the new captain. Would they have kept Elizabeth Dennehy as a cast member? I don't know whether that would have happened or not. Because she had like her own career at the time, so I don't know if she wouldn't.
I'm not sure she would ever have been a regular, but who knows? Like this was the no man's land of what was going to happen, right? Because they really didn't know. Like they had no idea what they're going to do. They had two scenarios. So
yeah. Anyway, so then she's like, if you're not going to make room for the officers, who want to take risks, then maybe you should get out of the way or whatever she says. Like anyway, Riker's now. Maybe I am too seasoned. Maybe Deanna's right about me. Anyway, the Borg still waiting out there. Picard does his little tour of the ship, the tour before the battle, as he's kind of moving along, as they're all getting ready to fixing the ship up, and he's looking around and got the gravity of this. He goes to 10 forward. The tour, like the naval tradition of touring a ship before a battle, a hopeless battle, as Guinan points out to him. And we get our first Guinan scene. I get the impression this is like the middle of the night with Picard and Guinan.
Yeah, he's walking around late, I think.
Love this scene where, they're just talking at the bar and he was like, you know what? Like, I think we might make it, I think we could. And, like, what's this? He talks about like, is this the end of our civilization? Could this be the end of the world? Right? Like, did the Visigoths, or did the Roman Empire understand it was falling when the Visigoths came over like the hills, right? Like, is this just another chapter in history? Turn the page, find out. And Guinan, Whoopi Goldberg, this is great dialogue, and she delivers it beautifully, like saying like, when my people were attacked by the Borg, we got spread throughout the galaxy. We lost our planet, but we prevailed. We came back. As long as there's a handful of you to keep the spirit alive, you will come back.
This entire scene is what they should show Kurtzman and say, this is what it should be. Do this. Write it this way.
Well, this is and I think it's just because
it's great written.
It's
well written.
and two fantastic actors who kill it here.
These two do really well in scenes together.
He also he talks about being like Nelson at Trafalgar on the Victory.
Right. Yeah, he compares himself to Nelson at Trafalgar, and she goes, "Nelson didn't come back from Trafalgar, but he's best. But the battle was won." And we're like, "Oh, so will the battle be won? But Picard has to sacrifice himself. Is that the story?" I'm like, those 3 months where you had to wait, like how much speculation would there have been, right? Like this is clearly almost setting up like Picard is going to die, and just then as this conversation wraps up, the Borg start, shaking the ship. They're doing like their depth charges or whatever. And it's time for, Picard to go. And, this is, I think this is it for Whoopi Goldberg in part 1.
This is also kind of interesting. Like when she's talking about like many of the crew don't. Like, I mean, no, that's the next scene. Never mind.
That's with Riker later. Yeah,
that's right.
I just want to quickly comment on. I love this monochromatic look with the different fabric textures. Like the hat is knit or crochet, and then this kind of like snakeskin velour, and then the padded shoulders. They always dress her so cool. I really like this outfit, and we don't see her in gold very often. It's usually like purples and blues and oranges and red, and I love this outfit, and I think it is in keeping with the somber tone of the episode.
Mm-hmm. And she has a different outfit in part 2.
She does.
Anyway, so then the battle is here. The Borg are pretty much shaking them out, and like the Enterprise cannot stay here in the nebula any longer, right? Like the Borg have figured out a way to kind of force them out.
Sam's got a question for Ted, actually. Ted, what are your thoughts on Guinan?
What are my thoughts on Guinan? I'm not sure really what her role is on that ship. She like spiritual leader or something?
Bartender,
but she's
same thing.
She's a spiritual.
She's the bartender
person. Yeah, everybody confides.
I thought she was like a spiritual guru that everybody asks questions of.
She never brings up spirituality once in all of her appearances. She's like the advisor to the captain in a way. Like, but she's really just the bartender. She runs the bar. She's like we don't know exactly how old she is. She's very old. She's like a very old. She's not a human. Right. So she's at least like 1,000 years old.
Oh,
if not
I see.
low. Yeah.
Well, she looks pretty good for her age. I would say that.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so the Borg are chasing them out. They have to get out of here, and the Borg then start chasing them down, gaining on them constantly. The Borg beam their drones aboard, and they're coming on here. I feel like this green animation was added too in this new remastered version. I'm not sure if that was originally there, but it's hard to know.
I can't remember.
Dad, what do you think of the look of the Borg?
These guys that are coming on the ship?
Yeah.
Well, they kind of those guys are kind of stupid. They kind of just come on and get shot. Like they don't even do anything. And even when they went back over to the Borg, like they're walking right around them and they're not even finding them there. Like these guys are a waste of time.
Well, yeah, they're not.
That's why they're drones.
Yeah, the Borg are a little bit passive as far as antagonist goes. Yeah, because they don't deal unless they consider you a threat. They don't deal with you, but that's kind of their Achilles heel. That's how they defeat them in this episode because the Borg kind of ignore you until they can't, and then it's too late for them.
Is this Borg guy that we're watching right here? Is he a man that was turned into a Borg?
Yes.
Like
He wasn't born a Borg.
Ted, I leave the room for 1 second and I hear the Borg look kind of stupid from the
Well,
I don't know about these Borg guys. They need to get their acting and they need to get their acting gear.
You wouldn't want to be turned into one, right?
No.
So
it's just nice to be on a podcast with Ted where he doesn't call me the stupid or the dumb one.
Yeah, he's like the Borg are the stupid ones now.
Dead.
Not you
Dead
anymore, Jody.
Jody, you graduated.
Oh.
Anyway, they're fighting the Borg, but the first Borg they kill, the second Borg that comes in, they adapt quickly to Worf's little
By the
phaser
way,
beam.
this Borg here, he's budget Borg, just so you know.
He's
He
budget
doesn't
Borg.
have
He's
nearly the crap on him that the other one.
a scuba diving Borg with the mouthpiece. Anyway,
He's in
and
training.
then the Borg have adapted already to the phaser beams. They can't be hurt. They slap Riker really good here across the bridge. Boom! And he goes flying across.
What would have been better is if Shelby was in the background and she just kind of giggles. That would have been funny.
Yeah. Worf gets messed up pretty hard here too. The dead Jodie Alliance. There you go.
Let's not go that far.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, the
Worf
He's
gets
still like
dropped
Scary
across
7.
the bridge here.
Yeah, Worf gets it pretty rough. Then as Picard's kind of just watching this all play out, he's like, "This is not going very well." This other Lady Borg comes in behind him and gives him the.
Sort of a green screen.
How do you figure that's a Lady Borg?
You don't think that's a man, is it?
Yeah, I think it's a woman.
I think it's a lady.
I think it's a woman. Yeah.
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 I
Anyway.
mean, I feel like gender
Why are you
is
sexist
irrelevant.
about the Borg, Heather? What's going on?
They can. Yeah. You don't want any women Borg.
He had a very quick transport of Picard. He was.
Yeah, they get him quick here, and he's gone. And then this other Borg just beams out, and the dead one just dissolves on the floor, so it leaves a nice stain on the carpet, which will be hard to get out. Anyway, then,
That's a serious issue.
That's what they're concerned about, right?
yeah, like look at that.
I was down here looking at the floor.
Yeah. Well, someone's gonna have to clean that. Anyway, Riker and Worf pick themselves off the floor, realize the captain is gone, and
Remember,
they've taken.
Worf's head of security here, guys. Just remember that.
Oh yeah, well, and their hair's all messed up, and they've been and they're pursuing the course, and they got the captain. Riker even has like a little bit of a gash on his cheek here. I never noticed before.
And to call Norman out there, Worf always gets knocked down.
It's true.
That's how they make us like more impressed with the bad guys and the
He's
invaders.
such a terrible character in this series.
Anyway, they're chasing. Now the Borg were chasing them. Now they're chasing the Borg as they've stolen Picard. Picard then is brought to talk to the Borg. Pre-assimilation, where they're like, "Hey, Picard, we've decided you will be the voice of our move."
So
our
here's my
assimilation
question:
movement."
why does the Borg care to even give him this opportunity? Like,
Well, they explain
talk
that
to him, like, what does he
because
care?
he leads the strongest ship of the Federation, therefore he speaks for their people. Is their logic?
Oh no, I get the logic. I just don't understand why they have to take him to talk to the air for a little while, and then get assimilated. Like, why don't
Well,
they just
like
straight
they probably wouldn't need to have this conversation with him first, but
this is like Goldfinger telling him his plan to the Bond. It's
But
well, since you're gonna die, here's the plan.
but they're explaining to us what they're going to do to him, and Picard, he can't be thrilled.
I get it. It's for the audience.
And so, as they're chasing the Borg down, they're getting the weapon ready back on the Enterprise, the deflector weapon. Which
Riker's like, I don't want this responsibility. Let's go get Picard. I don't want to take over this ship. I don't want to do this. Shelby's like, I will.
Riker wants to lead the away team to try to rescue Picard, and then Shelby objects to this, and he's like, "I'm the boss of you, Shelby. Remember?"
I just saw Beverly.
Well, she's going to be on the away. She's part of the away mission.
Beverly, it's a sighting now.
Yeah,
we haven't seen episode so far.
But it's Counselor Troy who has to tell Riker it would be inappropriate for you to lead the away team.
I love her voice here. She's like total lecture mode.
Oh yeah, she's talking. She's talking to him like he's 5. It's amazing.
And he was like, "Fine." I even love Beverly in the background, just going, "Uh-huh, she's right."
Such a child.
Well, how many times has he given this speech to Captain Picard, right?
True,
He knows
true.
the difference of this.
And usually Picard listens to him too, which is but once in a while he doesn't.
Once in a while he does. It says, "Okay, fine, Shelby, you're leading the away team," and
like when there's an Argo to be driven,
right?
Yeah,
and Riker has to, he's in command now. He has to stay on the bridge.
Is there time to give him another pip, eh? Like
not yet. They will give him the other pip.
Yeah, they do give him the other pip eventually.
Anyway, they have these phasers. Worf, Data Crusher and Shelby decide that they're going to beam over, make the shots count. And Riker says, "No unnecessary risks, Shelby. You got it." As they beam over to try to see if they can find Captain Picard. The Borg, like to my dad's point, the Borg do not attack you if you beam aboard their ship. They only mess with you.
They're literally walking around them. They're not caring.
Yeah, they don't care. They're like, well, they don't try to.
Yet.
You're not a threat. But then they figure out that they have these distribution node devices that they. And Dr. Crusher says, "What if we're like a mosquito and we bite them and we can get them to scratch and maybe drop out of warp?" Is the plan here. So
did I need a doctor here to explain me how mosquitoes work?
Yeah, because it's biology. So
she's the chief of medicine on the ship. Like
I'm a doctor, Jody, not an entomologist.
yeah, okay.
Well, she's here presumably because Picard has been assimilated.
What's that, Ted?
You have to bring Gerald, my brother, in for the doctor specialty.
You got to bring a doctor. Then Riker's talking to JP Hansen as they're preparing like the fleet for the battle, what will become the Battle of Wolf 359. And that
what's the name of his ship again? I can't remember.
Not the Melbourne.
No, it's not the Melbourne.
The Tolstoy, maybe, or something.
Tolstoy,
like,
I think. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, like the Enterprise is going to try to get to the battle, but they're like, I think even at this point, JP's like saying like Picard might be lost, right?
Well, he also said here he's going. We called them the Klingons. We also thought about calling the Romulans.
The Romulans, yeah. Like we're getting ready. Meanwhile, they are tracking down Picard's comm badge. They find Picard's uniform in a drawer, which means Picard is naked somewhere. So that's
yay.
Which you got to take that from that. I like how they folded it up and put it nicely away. They didn't like just toss it in the
they're
trash.
The Borg. They're like computer people.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, they
so we found Captain Picard's communicator uniform, so that's not good. Meanwhile, the main deflector weapon is ready, and they're getting ready to fire that off. But they're gonna have to get the Enterprise get the Borg ship out of warp, and this is where Shelby and all of them start. They do their mosquito trick. They start shooting these distribution node things and causing havoc among the Borg ship and blowing stuff up. And the Borg don't like it at all. They start scurrying around. They start getting their little devices, and but it does take them out of warp. So they might get a shot of using their weapon. The away team then gets kind of cornered here by the Borg, and they have to fight them all off. They only get a few of those phaser shots, but it's these Borg, the Borg zombies are coming for you. And in the fray of all this, they see a face, a profile of someone's face. Who is it? Mm-hmm. Beverly, someone she knows well.
This is a cool reveal, though.
Yeah, where he's looking to the side, and then he turns his head, and it's the Borg implants are there.
How many times did they have to tell Patrick Stewart to point the laser at the camera?
I don't know.
How many times do you think?
I don't know, but then Worf decides Captain, and he runs right after Locutus, a Borg here. He just kind of charges at him past the Borg guys here, and he runs right into a force field, and that's right on his butt.
Knocked on the floor again.
Knocked on the floor again.
Best that Starfleet has to offer.
Yeah, best. And then they emergency beam out as soon as that happens. So the away team has to leave here without Picard, and they get back to the Enterprise. And I don't know. There's just like the look. There's the look from Worf, but there's also like the looks from like the rest of them that they're just like, oh no, this is bad. This is like, we couldn't get him back.
Well, the worst thing about it is Shelby seems to be the most like distraught about all this situation, but yet.
She doesn't want to work for Riker.
Personally, yeah.
She doesn't want to work for Riker. She wants to work for Picard. So she's got to save him if she wants the new boss to be.
Might be it, yeah.
So she wants, and he's been altered by the Borg. I love this line from Worf. He's like, he is a Borg. He's been taken.
He's sulking.
He's
sulking. On top
of
that, he knocked me over with a force field.
His honor has been besmirched. Shelby wants to go back. She's like, give me more people, but this is their only chance to use their big, powerful weapon on the Borg. And the Shelby challenges Riker again, saying, "Get JP on the line. Get Admiral Hansen on the line. He'll agree with me." And Riker's like, "No way. Belay that. This is our one chance." She gives him some stink eye about this, but I think it was the correct decision in that moment. It always hits hard. Yeah. So they come down. The Borg are on the view screen as Shelby and Riker are facing here. With Picard's famous, "This is Locutus of Borg. Your life as it has been is over." And just the looks of shock all around the bridge here as the crew see their beloved captain turned into a Borg.
Fertile. Yeah, Sam doesn't always get the spellings correctly. It's fine. We knew what he meant.
Resistance is fertile. That's right.
Wow.
Whatever you want to make of that. Anyway, your life as it has been is over, Locutus says, and just then, dun 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 dun. We focus in here on Riker's face, and he goes, "Mr. Worf, fire!"
Fire.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Oh, I love it. And we had to wait 3 months. Everybody, you hear that, kids?
A lot of
Which
things can happen in 3 months.
Which I guess by today's standards is pretty good. Anyway, so that is the finale. Now, did you have any speculation on what was going to happen, Adam? Like between those two episodes?
There was a lot of conversation, but we didn't know that what was going on with Patrick Stewart.
No,
Like today they would know. Everybody would know everything, right? But back
Right.
then, we didn't have any inkling to that. So we always thought he was coming back.
Yeah, you assumed he was like, how are they going to save him? How are they going to,
Yeah.
fix this, right? Right.
But at this point, the Borg was the scariest villain we've ever seen in Star Trek.
Yeah.
And to take your lead character, like Captain Picard, and to do this, right? And then the rest of the crew have to fight him. I think it was such a smart move.
But it's also Star Trek when you kill off a character and you bring them back from the dead. So
right, it's got a little bit of that. Like it doesn't have. It feels like you kind of take the stakes out of it because it's kind of all undone by the end of the episode. But that's why I like how they linger on. They linger on Picard at the very end, right? And he's staring out the window, and you can see he's messed up. And
we're not there yet.
Yeah. Anyway, then the conclusion.
Dave,
Yes.
put me on the main screen. Put my square on the main.
But your camera's off.
Not anymore.
Yeah. You want to be.
She wants an intro. She wants
Do it.
Okay.
Make her big.
Make her big. All right.
Make her big. All right. There we go.
What?
Oh!
Oh.
Well done, Heather. Well done.
Resistance is futile. I am
You gotta
Narduzzi.
put it right at the camera,
Borg.
though. Put it right at the camera. You can do
Fire!
it. There it is.
Fire!
Right there. Woo!
Pew pew.
All right, don't do it too much or you'll break your camera.
All right. Excellent. Love it. Well done.
That is
Heather.
awesome, Heather.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done.
Great moment.
That's
there.
amazing.
And now the conclusion.
And now the conclusion,
Yes.
said by Michelle Barrett.
See, there you go, Sam. You got your Borg, Heather.
Yeah. Borg
Yes.
Heather is here now.
I should have said the Borg Queen, instead of the goddess.
No, I'm a drone right now.
Yeah. Borg drone. Anyway, they fire their big deflector weapon here, and it does nothing to the Borg cube. After all that build up, all that weight, and Borg's like, nothing, no damage. Impossible, they say. How could they have adapted so quickly? And Picard's like, the knowledge of the human Picard is part of us now. Number one. We have anticipated all scenarios, and everyone's like, "Oh no, they're not just taking Picard; they've got to have his knowledge." And right, they're really screwed now. But that is that. So that leads into that. If you watch this as its own episode, then we would go into credits after that point.
Yeah.
For part 2 here.
But we're hitting part 2 now. Right.
As we get the scene after that, those credits would have been Riker now talking to JP Hansen, who is preparing to meet the Borg cube at Wool 359. They're going to make their stand there, and the Enterprise will be there, but they have to repair their engines now after firing their weapon. They've been disabled, and they have to kind of wait. There's this whole part here too where they're talking about like Picard, being considered lost. They can't get him back. And Shelby says like he's assisting the Borg, and he's like, "Let me tell you a story. I once saw a freshman win the Academy Marathon, and there's no way he would help the Borg. So you better watch it there, Shelby." Yes, sir. But it feels like they're like Admiral's like getting Picard back is not like the number one. Stopping the Borg, as we'll find out in this part too, they're kind of one and the same objective, but they don't know that yet. And a little sadness here from Beverly as she thinks Picard is lost forever.
This might be the episode that I started crushing on Gates McFadden.
Yeah,
I can't confirm or deny that.
Well, there you go.
Started crushing on Gates? Like you weren't crushing on her before?
I might have been, but anyway.
Might have been now, may have been before this. It's hard to say. Anyway, so Riker then gets the battlefield promotion to captain. So he will. The Enterprise is now his ship, and he has to kind of deal with that. So to see you at the battle, he hopes. And
I also like that scene where the Admiral's like he's signing off. He's getting handed little pads to sign off on, and he's a busy man.
He is a busy man. He's commanding 40 starships going into this, and
not
for long. Yeah, but
not if Heather of Borg has anything to do about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see it in a bit here. As the Borg are going along, we get the scene here showing the assimilation process on Picard as he's getting transformed.
I love the tear. The tear is the best part of the whole
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Did you get a screenshot of that?
I did. Yeah, he gets the little. They fortunately they didn't cut his arm off. They just put his arm inside of the device. That was nice of them.
That's
He gets like the little beam in his head here, which makes his skin like turn gray, like a Borg, and how that is done. And then we see the tear coming down the eye here.
Yeah, that is an awesome scene.
Mhm.
See, again, Kurtzman, take notes. This isn't hard. Anyway.
It is hard.
And you know what? In First Contact, Frakes directed this, the whole movie, obviously, but the sequence where Picard is remembering being assimilated and it comes toward his eye and pokes his eye. I saw that the first time I watched that movie, and I've never again seen it because I find it so distressing. They did
it right up there with Picard and what's his name?
Pardon?
In the Picard. What was it? Season 2, probably? No, season 1, where they rip out the eyeball of what's his name?
Yeah,
Icheb.
Icheb.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so then now we catch up with Riker and Worf in the turbolift. Riker now has 4 pips for the rest of this episode, and
Worf's
he's like,
"How did I get more pips?"
He says to Worf, how are we going to defeat the knowledge of Picard? And he was like, the Borg don't have honor, so that's why we'll win. And he's like, I guess that's good enough.
Yeah, because that's a viable plan.
I got Shelby and Geordi were trying to fix the ship and engineering, working, Worf comes in and Worf is recruited by Geordi to help, fix the shields or something. And then we get this conversation with Riker and Shelby, which is really like the main thing where he asks for her report and how they're fixing things. And now that he's the captain, she treats him very differently now than she did before. A lot more respectful, I would say. And she's like,
got the job she wanted.
Yeah, like there's an opening, and she's willing to curry favor. And and she's like, isn't that the job of a first officer to give you all the options? And he's like, damn, Shelby, you're ambitious. I like it. You know, so recognizing her skills and that they could make, and he also says we don't have to like each other to work well together. I always enjoyed that, is that they could be a really strong team without necessarily having to be best friends, at least at this stage of their working relationship. So, and then Data says the Borg, the fleet has engaged the Borg at Wolf 359. That is the next update as Captain Riker now heads out. They get the little call here from Admiral Hansen, who says the battle's not going so well. Then the screen the screen goes like a little fuzzy here. They get the snow, and Data just goes
aside a couple times.
Data just goes, nope. There's no one there anymore, and so they don't know what exactly has happened, but nothing good.
Riker's like, he was probably a pretty good poker player, so it's fine.
This is the scene next where Riker just announces that Shelby will be the new first officer. He talks about Worf and Data being his two considerations, not Geordi. Geordi was not considered for the role of the job, apparently. But
the guy who walks into force fields or the android. I think I know which one's gonna win.
Yeah, but Worf and Data
change, Dave.
Now is not, well. I got the logic. I need you guys where you are, what you're doing.
Which is sound.
It's sound, and they have this extra command officer, just happens to be here.
Happens to be hanging around, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of a good fit, right time, right place. So he's like, but I don't like how he says, reluctantly, I've decided to pick Commander Shelby. I'm like, it's probably not the best way to announce your new first officer.
Yeah, I don't think that's how he meant it, but it still was right.
No, that's how he meant it.
I didn't like that either.
I'm not sure you guys are reading that correctly. I think it meant more of reluctantly, as in he didn't want to be in this position to even do this. So.
Oh no, I don't. That is not how I read it. I know
that's how you all didn't read it. But
he was like, I have to pick you because you're here, and like I need Data to be.
I think you're a bitch. It's already been established.
And even here, like the look here with Worf and Data, but he's like, "Welcome aboard."
Jody, I like your optimism that we're seeing here, but it's probably wrong.
Anyway,
I have my moments.
Sam says, I gotta go, guys. Thanks for coming on, Ted. Hope to see you more this season. And my rating is a perfect 10 out of 10. Thank you, Sam.
There you go. And then Riker says, I wish Picard was here to give a really inspirational speech, because I would like to hear too.
I think this is bad. Like, again, he's not showing leadership. Picard's gone. Take over, man.
Well, I think that's I think that's the point, is that this does not go well in this scene. Like the way he introduces Shelby and the way he kind of gives this like speech of like, I don't know, basically like, I think we're all going to die.
I got nothing good to say.
I got nothing good to say. And I think the scene with this leads directly into the scene with Guinan that comes right after this, which I think is kind of the point. Data did become acting captain in Gambit. You're right.
Mr. Hudson.
He also became first. He also wore like the red uniform and became first officer under Jellicoe briefly too, right?
Yep.
Anyway, then Riker goes to the ready room and he stares at the Picard's empty chair. He says, "What would you do?" The ghost of Picard, Adam's saying, "Come on, man! You got to be your own man. You got to be your own leader here." And right on time, we got Guinan showing up for her second scene in this two-parter.
This is the counselor part of her job that she just does.
Even though she's not a counselor. But, it's all good. Troy's like, stop stepping on my job here. Come on. You're taking all my work. But
I love this outfit, bitch. Look at it. It's like half like bias cut sequins.
I love that. I like this collar that goes.
It shouldn't work at all, but it does.
It's fantastic. You know what? The same person that put that on Guinan designed a lot of Jake Sisko's outfits. I feel like.
It worked better on her than on Jake, but
that
might even.
Well, I want to see who wore it better.
Because they
Sisko and Quark.
They often struggled with like, what do civilians wear in the future? But with Guinan, they always nailed it. Anyway, and the scene here between Riker and Guinan, I think, is really good. She says, you need to let go of him, right?
I've heard a lot of people talking down in 10 forward. They expect to be dead in the next day or so. They trust you. They like you. But they don't believe anyone can save them. The only one who can turn this around is you.
I'll do the best I can.
You're going to have to do something you don't want to do. You have to let go of Picard. Our relationship is beyond friendship, beyond family. And I will let him go. And you must do the same. There can only be one captain.
It's not that simple. This was his crew. He wrote the book on this ship.
If the Borg know everything he knows, it's time to throw that book away.
Yeah, she says, this is your chair now. This is your ship, and you need to figure it out. And let go.
Also, traditionally, me and the captain of the Enterprise are smashing. So report to my quarters when this is over.
Do you think Picard and Guinan are got a thing going
Sometimes.
on the side? Okay,
Yeah.
well, it could be.
Maybe.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Well, they're more than friends. They're more than family.
True.
No way.
Well, some skeptics. What do you think in the comments? Are Picard and Guinan smashing on the side?
Colin Garrett, he can tell you who wore it better.
This is
that.
a critical question on the podcast. Yeah.
Anyway, so she, what I find interesting is that you need to let him go. And what does he do? He's like, my plan is to save him. I just actually go against what her advice in a sense. He sits here in Picard's ready room chair for a second before he gets called to the bridge, and he's trying to settle into the role. As he gets called in here, they're here at Wolf 359, and what do they find? The remnants of the battle, all the ships that have been destroyed, the 40 Federation starships completely obliterated, every single one of them. Is there just empty shells, no life signs, And they even this moment here with they say, and the Melbourne was destroyed. The ship that Riker could have been the captain of, and if he had been, he would be dead now. Yeah. So, what's the moral of the story? Don't take the promotion.
don't advance your career.
Yeah, don't stay where you are. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side.
Mediocre is better than dead.
Yeah. Right. And this battle, this was a devastating moment for the Federation when a good chunk of the Starfleet, at least the fleet that protects Earth, was completely wiped out.
Yeah.
So here we go, and then Riker's like, I got a plan. Let's separate the saucer sections, Shelby, like you said before. Also, it's interesting to me that Shelby gets the 3 pips at this point, now that she's officially first officer. Because he didn't have to promote her to full commander, but he does. Anyway, so then he's like, I'm counting on it. He's got a special mission for Data and Worf. The plan is coming together as they're chasing down the Borg ship. We got Locutus here. He's from his perspective, how he's battling the Enterprise. Riker on the battle bridge. I'm here to discuss terms. We want to discuss terms for assimilation. And Locutus is like, no, you don't. This is like fake negotiations. He's like, come on. I thought you would trust me since Picard trusts me. And he's like, well, that's true. Picard does trust you. But this is all a ruse. You're going to have to, escort us where we'll start assimilating your entire planet. If you try to intervene, we will destroy you. And then he cuts the comms. He gets Worf and Data on their little mission here with their little armband transporter things that they're going to use for this mission. And he's keeping Locutus going here while he prepares for this battle. And basically the battle is while the drive section fires, the saucer section is going to create this distraction here for the Borg cube. Shelby in command of the saucer section, and it's a fun battle.
I like how their heads-up display, their heads-up battle display on the Borg ship is actually a cube.
Yeah, it's like the view screen is a cube that rotates.
It's a cube that rotates. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange, but the Enterprise is pretty ballsy to do this after they just saw the results of 40 starships, and the Borg cube could I don't know. It seems like they could destroy the Enterprise like just as easily, but Riker holds in the fight here, and he goes execute maneuver Riker Alpha. Boom! That's a Riker Alpha right there. You move out of the way of that tractor beam. Riker Beta confirmed. Let's go. You think he's still a child, Adam? No, he's got moves. He's got maneuvers, and he's going to save the entire Federation. As this antimatter spread, which is a weapon the saucer section apparently has that we never see again, but it blasts off all these
flares.
It's like little flares, but it's enough to annoy the Borg cube that they turn their attention towards the saucer section. And then at that same moment, Data and Worf, they get out of there. I love the animations of them flying by it, like the Enterprise as they're going in here. And the Borg cube doesn't see the shuttle break through their electromagnetic field, which is preventing them from beaming in as the Borg are going along here. And they cut their engines, come in here, and then beam over to try to save Picard, which they do. Well, the first thing, they have to find him. I love this. Like Data and Worf on their little special mission. Like this is almost like a Black Ops mission. Coming in here to get Picard, or Locutus rather.
And the security officer is in the back where it's safe.
Exactly. Yeah. Let the android do the
let the android get his ass kicked. It's fine.
Yeah. They have to fight some Borg. And then they go after Picard's a wrestling match with Worf and Locutus here for a moment. As they then, but Data then, don't forget Data. Like there was that Borg sneaking him on Data behind, and then Data shoots him. He's a pro, quickest phaser in the West.
Like no big deal.
Yeah, they knock out Locutus, and then they beam him back to the shuttle. Get him back on the shuttle, and they haul ass really quickly to get past that electromagnetic field. Beam them out of there, Mr. O'Brien. And because the Borg were ready to destroy Locutus really fast.
That shuttle way cooler than the other shuttles we see in the series.
Yeah, we don't see that one very often. Yeah.
That's in the big shuttle bays, because we never get to see the big shuttle bay. We only get to see the small one.
That's right, and we never. Yeah, presumably they did leave from. They would have had to have left from the big shuttle bay, because that's the only one.
I do like
the
when they
section.
leave the shuttle bay though, and it's like you're seeing out the window, and they're passing the saucer section.
They're passing the drive section.
The drive section, yeah, drive section.
Yeah. Anyway, but they made it just in time. Some good beam out here by O'Brien, and Riker's feeling pretty confident now. I got Locutus. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, that kid. But this has also left the saucer section a sitting duck momentarily. Sorry, Shelby. But before they can, the Borg don't try to get Locutus back at all. They just immediately take off to Earth and head that way. Then they get the scene here in sickbay where Riker gets Crusher to wake up Locutus. He's like, Beverly, Doctor Crusher. I am on the ship. I am here to speak for the Borg. Do not worry. I will be an ambassador for the Borg here. It's kind of what I was hired to do. And yeah, they don't quite know what to do with Locutus yet. Then Data gives us the whole technobabble thing where he explains that the subspace signals coming through, like from the Borg they can't just block them, because they could lead to Picard dying, and they can't allow that to happen. So they got to find out some other way of disconnecting him from the Borg safely. They can't just disconnect him. It would be too dangerous. I love this moment here with Locutus and Worf, where he's like, Klingon, warrior species, you will be assimilated. And he was like, I like my species the way it is. Why do you resist? We only mean to bring harmony. Everything else, I'm a good guy, really. Says Locutus.
Yes, Borg Maleficent. I'm here for it.
Yes,
that's her. Now that's her Halloween costume this year.
You know what Picard Locutus needs? More rhinestones.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Anyway, Data's working on Locutus in his lab is the next move here. As we get the report here from Shelby that the Borg have officially entered the Earth solar system, the Sol system. We see them going by Saturn here as the Enterprise is trying to catch up. I guess the rest of the fleet is gone, and they're still far behind. And Data is working on his plan to try to like hook up his neural link to the Borg and see if they can affect the Borg or stop the Borg through that. And O'Brien's involved, and Dr. Crusher and Deanna Troi are here, and they're all helping with this operation down in the science lab. I like how O'Brien goes, okay, well, how do I know if something's not going right? And he goes, I don't know. I've never done this before, so we'll just have to make it up as we go. Okay, cool.
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? Picard has his shirt off now. Is that... I don't know. That seemed unnecessary, but it's all right.
Gabe feels awkward feelings about this episode, apparently.
Was that, Dad?
They put his uniform in that tray. It's probably still there.
Yeah. Did someone bring my uniform back? Is what his first question should have been.
They took off the Borg outfit. So.
Yeah. But not, yeah, like I guess these being the implants they couldn't just pull off of him. Do not be
bedazzling is irrelevant. Resistance is futile. You will submit to the glitter of the Borg.
She loves the headpiece.
Yeah.
And the Borg are destroying the Martian security perimeter or whatever. They sent like three the dingiest looking ships at this Borg cube. Like, brave. Posthumous medals of honor for all of them. As they're heading down here, they're catching up to the Borg. We see the Enterprise going by Saturn. And Data's trying to access the Borg, but it goes slowly. It doesn't, it's quite the hacking thing, Jody. Like, it's almost like he's got to hack through their matrix. And I feel like maybe there could have been some visuals that would have been interesting here in retrospect, or what they might do, how they might do this today. But
I don't know. Like, what are they gonna do, really? Like, it's they have such a time crunch because of the story they're telling.
It's true. They do have a time crunch, right? So we just get Brent Spiner basically explaining to us what he's
like. Oh, by the way, I'm linked into him. There
and he's like, I'm in
the audience. Everything they need to know.
I'm in through level 1 of the computer program. Okay, going to level 2 or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And as he's getting through the different layers of the Borg encryptions, he's getting more access. We see Picard or Locutus reacting more, and Deanna starts to detect something. Maybe more Picard is coming out here as Data's trying to hack through the Borg, whatever. Which wakes up the Borg part of Locutus, at least, and he tries to electrify this thing and escape. He even hits this poor security guard guy.
Nobody cares about him anyway.
Yeah, he goes flying. Like, not just Worf gets like beat up.
Worf wasn't available to be thrown.
He's on the bridge. He's too busy on the bridge.
He's too busy on the bridge, not getting.
He's like, I got one of my flunkies to get beat up down there for you.
Don't worry. If they need to throw somebody, they're gonna have somebody. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and then Data gets into like a little bit of a wrestling match here with Locutus and breaks off his little metal arm. And I just love how when he takes off the hand, he's just like, he looks so sad. He's like, I was gonna. It was my whole plan of my escape was to use that. Anyway, he gets pretty pissed off about it, actually. And yeah, it's like there's more here, and this is where Picard somehow is able to reach out and surpass the thing, and he's trying to make contact here with Data. Does he? I don't know if he says sleep yet at this point, but they're trying to. They're making progress, but the time is running out. The clock is running out because the Borg are getting closer and closer to Earth, and they're going to kill everybody or assimilate everybody or both. So it's no good. And Riker and Shelby and all them upstairs, like, they don't really have time. We see that. Look where the Borg cube is, right above Earth, and they're like, time has run out. And there's no more Starfleet to defend it, I guess. There's nothing left other than the Enterprise. So
can you go back 2 shots? One more. Yeah. Is that the picture they sent back from the Artemis 2? Because I think we're in trouble.
No, it isn't. They got bigger problems up there, like toilets and stuff.
And
Yeah, I heard
Microsoft Outlook.
Yeah. Their toilet's not working? Is that what's happening?
It's been. I think
They fixed it.
they fixed
Okay.
it, but it wasn't working.
Roto-Rooter get
They
what
were-
came in.
They were
Roto-Rooter,
told not to,
good.
do things. Yeah, they were told not to do any deposits for a little while.
Stop shoving stuff down the toilet, like whatever else, like t-shirts and stuff.
Imagine the toilets on that Borg ship, eh? Ooh.
Yeah. The Borg then attack the Enterprise because they know that they're getting closer to Locutus, so they have to stop attacking Earth for a minute. I would welcome the Borg overlords at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. There are certain countries in this world that would definitely agree with you on that one.
I, for one, look forward to my impending assimilation.
Yes.
Well, it looks like you already have been. So you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yes.
The Enterprise is being hammered here by the Borg. They're cutting into the hull, and Riker gives Wesley the order: prepare for a ramming speed. The Enterprise is going to sacrifice itself with all hands to try to stop the Borg. I don't know if this would have worked, but they were going to try. It was the last ditch effort.
But I'm gonna hook up with Ashley Judd.
He's like, no, you won't.
Not today.
Not today,
That's
young
me.
ensign, handsome young ensign. But then he's about to give the order, and then Data's like, I think I'm making some progress. And Picard says, "Sleep, Data, sleep." Oh, I think he wants a nap. I don't think that's what he wants.
Too much bedtime.
Yeah. And the Enterprise is getting now cut into again. I like how they say, "Should we evacuate that section?" And he goes, "Nope.
No need.
We're about to kill everyone anyway by ramming the ship into the Borg cube." But he's like, "Okay, tell them if you can tell them to disable their systems and do so." And that's what happens. All of a sudden, the Borg stop attacking. Everything goes quiet, and Worf's like, "This is weird. That was not how I was."
Wait,
What's happening?
What's happening? He doesn't get it. Everyone's confused. Everything goes quiet, and Data's like, I told them to go into sleep mode. I told them it was time to
I
hibernate.
just hit the
And,
power button. It was fine.
yeah, I put them all to. You put them to sleep, and he says, "Shelby, go over there and make sure that they're asleep." He says, "Okay, gotcha."
This is basically a concept that every IT department now uses. It's called the "Did you try turning it off and on again?" Same idea.
Anyway,
The Borg are actually nice people. You just have to give them a reboot. That's all.
Oh, that must be it. Yeah. Yeah, some of them, I'm sure, are nice people, as they say. Anyway, the Borg are in this hibernation mode, but they tell Riker that the whole ship's gonna blow up because this is kind of like an error, right? And maybe
a bad idea.
should we try to stop it from blowing up? Is their actual question? Should we try to stop the Borg cube from exploding?
You should haul ass. That's what you should be doing.
And Data and Crusher make this argument for Data's for a scientific research aspect, and Crusher from if we blow up that Borg cube, it could kill Picard. And Riker's like, don't care, it's the right call. Let's let it blow up.
Finally, a decision.
He made a decision. What do you want? Yeah, exactly. Got it.
5 minutes left in the episode. Yeah.
Right, and they beam out and let's haul ass and get the hell out of here as it blows up. Time to go, and we see it blow up.
My concern, Dave, and I'm gonna tell you what my concern is. Wasn't that Borg cube pretty close to Earth at this point?
Not close enough to hurt Earth, but
that thing blows up.
But because remember it was above Earth, but then it had to come find the Enterprise because they were they
Had to come back. Yeah,
so you can see they're not right above Earth when it blows
that's
up.
true. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so it blows up and boom, and all the Borg are killed, or maybe not. I don't know. It's kind of confusing
They're
because
probably just floating around.
but remember in First Contact where he says, but all the Borg on that ship were destroyed, and she says, you think in such 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional ideas.
Well, we know later on that they have interdimensional travel and stuff like that as well, right?
Yeah. I don't know why they don't send more than one cube if they have more.
Well, they didn't need any more than one cube.
They did. They did need more.
They did.
Turns out they
actually,
did.
no. They just need somebody in IT who's competent, who says, you don't give low-level security access to something that can turn off all of our systems. That would be the.
Yeah, I better firewall for the Borg next time. I guess would be there. And then
Renew
Picard
your subscription to Norton. you know.
Yeah. Then Picard is after the destruction of the Borg cube. He's seemingly freed, and he's now in a Speedo. And where we can see that he was already in the Speedo, but now he's revealing it from behind the science thing. And they say, "How do you feel?" You know, he's like, "Almost human, with just a bit of a headache." Well, 359's inside job. That was in Lower Decks. Yeah. And Riker asks him, "How much do you remember?" And he goes, "Everything." You know, including some brilliant moves.
He says that is really creepy too.
Yeah, like when he looks away, he goes, "Everything." You know,
and then he kind of stares at the screen for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes, "Including some brilliant moves by a former first officer of mine." And he's like, "Thanks, Dad."
Thanks, Papa.
Yeah,
I done good.
And then sometime later, Picard is now been his implants have been removed. He has a bunch of skin grafts or something going on, and Riker gives this report that the Enterprise is going to have to go to Earth Station McKinley, and like it's going to have to get repaired for like 6 weeks or something like that, which is going to lead into the next episode. Then Commander Shelby shows up, who's now leaving to go help rebuild the task force. So like in my because I know like after the battle of Wolf 359, Sisko also helped rebuild the fleet at Utopia Planitia before he went to Deep Space Nine. So in my head canon, like Shelby and Sisko worked together for the next couple of years on the fleet.
Maybe.
And she says, "Well, hey Riker, I bet you can have any ship you want now." And he's like, "Everyone's so worried about my next job, but I'm going to stay exactly where I am, and everyone can leave me
forever,
alone.
forever."
And Picard's like, "Give me back one of them pips."
Yeah, take off that pip. That's not pip material.
That was a war promotion. That wasn't real.
Yeah, and anyway, Picard, Riker, and I think Riker and Shelby, they seem to leave on pretty good terms here. And there she goes. And then after Riker and Shelby leave, we see Picard goes to take a sip of tea, but then he stops, you know, and he kind of looks down, and it's only hitting him now, maybe like what he's kind of been through,
or what he did.
I mean, what he did.
He destroyed half the fleet, and how many lives? And you know when Deep Space Nine,
not as many as Sisko.
Well, no, wait, but Deep Space Nine comes along. That premiere, they did a pretty good job outlining what Picard was responsible for.
Yeah, have you ever seen that, Dad?
What's that?
So the first episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine shows this battle at Wolf 359 because Captain Sisko was on the Saratoga, or at the time he's Lieutenant Commander Sisko, and you know.
Just ring a bell.
No, but you get to see the battle from his perspective, and Locutus is there, and you know it doesn't go well, as we all saw the result of that.
Locutus is there again?
Well, it's a flashback, you know.
Oh,
you know.
It's a flashback from the perspective of somebody who was in the battle.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Anyway, and then he looks out to ponder across the horizon out his window here. I don't know if we ever saw it this window before either. This particular shot, but
this was a good scene because it really did illustrate that he's got some issues.
Trauma.
Yeah.
And
well, as one would have if they were assimilated by a mechanical race. But so I think it's justified.
No,
and they can see.
I'm glad they did that. I really am.
Oh, me too. Yeah. And the next episode follows up on that too. Like the trauma comes out even full spread in the next episodes.
And there's the moon where the Artemis 2 are headed. So anyway, that is the end of the two-parters, and we did it, everyone. Good job.
Yay, we did it. Yay.
Adam, do you want to hit us with some fun facts?
Yeah, there's tons. So I'm gonna be very, very choosy here. Okay.
It's fire.
Okay, be choosy.
Okay. So Wolf 359. Well, Jody, you gotta be quiet. Okay. Wolf 359 is extreme. It's a real star, guys. It's an extremely faint red dwarf, approximately 7.8 light years from Earth, and it's the 5th nearest star to our sun.
So it's not the closest thing. But it's in the neighborhood, I guess, is the idea, right?
Yeah. This two-part series contains graveyard scenes full of wrecked and damaged starships. These scenes were populated from study models, which were considered for use in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, 1979, and possible versions of the Enterprise. And Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, and as the Excelsior was used. Also models for that. Some of the wreck ships were created via kit bashing or quickly mixing up starships from various models. So before CGI.
We need a bunch of blown up ships. Go.
Okay. Ted, you'll remember the TV guide. This episode, along with Best of Both Worlds Part 2, so both of them were listed as TV Guide's 100 greatest TV episodes ever.
Ooh.
Yep.
What rank did it have?
36.
Nice.
There
Yep.
was no Beverly Hillbillies, but
Nope.
pretty good.
Well, thank goodness. Michael Piller was initially hired as a freelance screenwriter for only 1 year, with his last script being The Best of Both Worlds. The episode ends with a major cliffhanger, leaving him knowing that he'd not be responsible for resolving it in Best of Both Worlds Part 2. However, this episode garnered such huge ratings and in general helped push the series from its lower ratings to become one of the highest syndicated series during this time. As a result, Gene Roddenberry was so satisfied with Pillar's work that he brought him back. This required Pillar to write the resolution to this episode and kicked off the next season.
Yeah, and like I said, Michael Piller goes on to become a co-creator of Deep Space Nine and become the showrunner on Deep Space Nine for a bunch of seasons. And he passed away tragically, not even the full way through Deep Space Nine, but was a great writer and a great leader. Like when we were on the Star Trek cruise last year, they talked a lot about a lot about how Michael Piller took a lot of those young writers that went on to do so much great stuff, and nurtured them.
Heather, I need your red. Oh, you got the red light on. Okay, good. The shots of Locutus shining the red light into the camera was achieved practically, not via special effects, and was not planned. The laser pointer was incorporated in the facial piece of Patrick Stewart wore when he turned the first time toward the camera, creating that dramatic effect. Let's hit us with it, Heather. Let's do it. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Watch out. They got a freaking laser on their head.
Guinan mentions that her planet, along with the civilization, was destroyed by the Borg. This is also mentioned in Generations in 1994.
I was trying to say this and realized my mic was off. While I had my camera off and I was putting this costume on, I blew a bunch of smoke around so the laser would show up.
Wow.
I was really committed to this bit, y'all.
You
I
did
love
well.
it. Well done.
Superb.
The
As
Academy Award goes to Heather for the best costume.
Oh, thank you.
And I was thinking, as well as talking about awards, I was like, how did they not win any acting awards? Like, I would have, I think Whoopi Goldberg deserved an Emmy for this. Both episodes.
I think you're also talking when science fiction wasn't very well recognized,
respected.
That is true. Yeah.
Only for makeup and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, stuff that was unique.
Sound
to them.
design.
Yeah.
Technical
Costumes and
Yeah.
whatever.
The visual of the Paulson Nebula is the same one that was used for the Matara Nebula in Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan. It was created by placing a plastic sheet over a transparent acrylic tank half filled with fresh water, adding in a dash of salt water, and shining color lights through it. Then pulling out the sheet and stirring it in a circle. So
well,
again,
hey, it works.
This is what they did before CGI, right?
Yep.
I have no complaints about any of the special effects. Whatsoever.
No, they did great.
Due to ongoing contract negotiations, it was uncertain whether Patrick Stewart would return for a future seasons. This ambiguous cliffhanger was seen here, which allowed them to kill off Picard or bring him back and alter the. If they had done that, he would have altered the command structure permanently. Stewart obviously opted to return.
Now, if that had come to pass, it's hard to know, right? What the timeline would have been if Patrick Stewart left the show at that stage, and what would have been.
Well,
part of me almost
the show just got good.
It just got good, right? But but I love Riker as the captain too. In this two-parter,
Terrible captain.
Well, we'll see how this shakes out. But I it bugs me so much because he's like this. He should be like the hero of the Federation forever, right? After this, what he does here, and then they're like, no, you don't know the Cardassians. Let's bring in Jellicoe. It's so.
What
Like,
they did
come
though,
on.
like Heather was right. Peter David did a good job in that book because they were like they had this. I remember this scene in the book where Shelby's actually describing that scene where Riker, ordered the ramming speed, and the young ensign who's brand new to the job just was going to follow the order and do this, and it was such a monumental thing, and she really gave him credit in that book as being the hero.
Hey, if you think about it, Wesley isn't nearly annoying in this episode. Like he's actually pretty well written.
He's got his whole life ahead of him, and he nearly gets killed here.
And we talked about this being a two-parter. This was actually meant to be a three-part episode and not a season finale, but budgetary constraints brought it down to two. It was also decided that the first part have enough build-up for the second part. It could sustain itself over the long summer. And to your point, that seemed like a very long time back then, but now we have to wait years.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to what we have to wait for now.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked better as a 3-parter because I feel like the second part feels so rushed after he turns into Locutus, and you're like, they have to get him assimilated.
Quick. Yeah.
It succeeded in doing this very well, they say here, and built up a big audience. And that's what I was trying to say earlier. I remember so much talking about that summer. It was like,
Right.
It's almost like, Luke, I'm your father. It was a big deal. Captain Picard is going to die.
I was 7 years old that summer.
I was going to university.
He said that so begrudgingly.
I'm seasoned.
What year was that?
1990.
1990.
The second part managed to build the season's episode's highest ratings, and made it the second part, the highest rated episode so far in the whole series. Prior to this, the ratings were fair to middling. These two episodes made Next Generation no longer considered as Star Trek only name, but it held its own mantle. It became the Next Generation. It wasn't just Star Trek.
Yeah.
Pick up that damn cat.
Can we see the meowing cat, please?
Hey, that cat is Gary 7 might be around.
No,
God, I hope not.
this is not the Gary 7.
How
cat.
dare you insult his cat?
Hello,
can
my
insult-
baby.
I didn't see the cat before I said that.
What was the cat's name in Gary 7 again?
Well, it was a woman, right? The woman was also a cat or something.
It doesn't matter because it's not Star Trek.
Great episode. Oh, we're going down that path, Ted.
I know. We better steer back.
Let's come back.
Podcast without Ted telling me I'm an idiot. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friend Drescher says, "Oh my goodness, she's perfect."
Well, we can talk about that some other time. This
Is it like Data and Spot?
It's a sequel to Q Who. In particular, the scene near the conclusion where Picard realizes during a private conversation with Guinan that the Borg will be coming.
Yeah.
Well, they're here.
Yeah.
Dr. Solar, Robin Leffler, Elizabeth Shelby, they're all central characters that go into the Peter David's The Frontier series. I want to read those again.
New Frontier, they're great.
I don't think I've ever read them.
Gary 7's cat was ISIS.
I knew it.
That explains things. All right.
That was a great episode, right, Ted?
Shut up. Yeah, I was the best.
Didn't Obama create ISIS?
What?
Can we move on, please?
Oh,
Give
boy.
us more fun facts or more fun
2
facts.
hours.
Where am I? I've lost
Give
my.
me one
my-
more. Let's go.
Okay, in the last scene, we'll end it here. The Picard is looking out the Enterprise window from his ready room. He's wearing bandages over his Borg implant scars, and he looks at the square window, which symbolizes the Borg, with a reflection of Earth in the glass, symbolizing the episode name, the best of both worlds.
Mm.
Yeah, because like it's strange that they never say that line or anything in like the whole thing, right? Like what the references, what the two worlds are.
Yeah.
Dave, you had somebody mentioning Babylon 5.
Between this DS9 and Babylon 5, sci-fi was awesome and gripping, and well, you're right. Like it was like there was a great era there of all kinds of great serialized and also just episodic science fiction shows. You know,
That's a TOS.
Dad wants back TOS. Always wants back TOS. You know,
I'm not sure Shatner
especially-
can do what he was doing then.
Simon Earth. Great episode.
Where it all began. Where it all
so
began.
good. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Adam. We appreciate all the facts.
Thank you for the fun. Did you just kick him off, or
I think that might have been
I'm here.
Jody.
Absolutely, you're with this cat.
All right. And with that, we are going to move over to the ratings and score the episode to 2 episodes tonight. We're going to have to rate 2 episodes here. Okay. I'll start. Okay. I think that part 1 is a perfect episode almost. Like it's so strong, and I'm going 11 for it. Part 2, not as strong because I think it's rushed.
11. It's out of 10.
I'm going 11. So then, and then for part 2, I think is like I think it's a 9.5. It's good, but it's not perfect. It's a little bit. It's not. It lacks a little bit of build. Anyway, so those are my 2 ratings. Jody, what do you want to do?
For the first one, I'm gonna do 9.8. And for the second one, I'm going to do 9.5, only because I felt rushed.
All right. Adam.
I don't believe in 11s, but this is a 10.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean you don't believe in 11?
You've given 11s before.
Well, maybe I have. And no, I don't believe in it anymore. 9.5.
I'm going to find any 11 you've given, and I'm going to have it taken back.
Sure.
But I don't know if I found any here. So
There's no 11s in Next Generation.
No 11s in Next Gen. So if there is one,
10 when it's out of 10.
I can tell you where it isn't.
okay, Dad. Well, you can help bring it down.
You can help bring it down.
No, I'll give the first episode a 9.5, and then 9.3.
9.3 for the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. And Heather.
tens across the board?
There you go.
10s. Okay.
You know
and,
what? You know what? I'm going to agree with Heather. Give me a 10 on season part 2. This was so great, and I look at them together, not as you know.
Well, that's
2.
why we're doing them in one. But they did air like in syndication as separate episodes,
Yeah.
right? So, anyway, then okay. In today's streaming world, you wouldn't probably do that, you know. But back then, it was kind of like that. You'd have to wait till tomorrow until the syndication of the rerun of the part 2. Anyway, so we're at 10.1 because I'm bringing it up past that 10-point mark tonight is our average for part 1, and part 2 has an average of 9.7. Where on IMDb, part 1 is slightly rated higher at 9.3, and on part 2 is 9.2. So that comes out there. 10 for part 1, says Jim the Casual. Totally agree that part 2 is a little weaker. Maybe an 8, if only because the resolution was so easy. Yeah, like I feel like that 3-part idea was probably what they needed to do to make this even better. But
Yeah, there's one other fun fact that I should have mentioned. There, can I do that now?
Yep.
Yeah, they actually had the idea.
You already had your shot, but all right.
Thanks, Jody. They had one of the script ideas was they were going to bring Picard and Data to be assimilated, and then, if you can imagine, they would have been melded together.
I can't imagine that, but you know,
I don't know
it's
how I
interesting.
feel about that.
The board
They were like-
survived.
It was cost too much money.
Which I guess is kind of what they kind of went for in First Contact to a degree, right? Like they were trying to
Yeah.
kind of assimilate Data.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So very high ratings here. No surprise, this being one of the most beloved, episodes of all Trek. So thank you for that, everyone. And let's take this down as we are going to look ahead to our next review here on Star Trek: The Next Generation every Thursday at the moment. Our next episode is season 4, episode 2, Family, where Picard goes back to France to hang out with his brother and his sister-in-law and nephew as he deals with the trauma of what's happened to him in the Borg assimilation. And there's also a B plot with Worf's family, with his adoptive parents from Russia coming to visit. Oh, and Wesley also gets a message from his late father. So there's a lot of different threads to kind of.
Part 3 is family, really. Yeah.
Part 3 kind of is family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Rashenko has all the specs.
Basically, if you want to see two British men pretend that they're French and mud wrestle, that's the episode for you.
Yep.
And who doesn't?
Yeah.
I love that episode.
Me too.
It's a good episode. Is it a good Star Trek episode? I don't know about that.
Yes.
They needed to deal with that because, I mean, that was such a big, like, I'm really happy.
They have to
like, in 1990, for them to actually admit there was like some stress and some
something that happened last week, like for them, like because they wanted every episode to stand alone, right? So,
but I mean, you consider what had happened, and Picard had killed, or thousands of people, destroyed half the fleet, and this is going to have an impact.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that the Enterprise itself needed to be repaired too. So all that. So check out next week for family. We're also doing For All Mankind on Mondays, covering the new episodes from season 5. We'll be on Monday to talk about the Hard 6, episode 2 of season 5 of For All Mankind. We were on last night live streaming about the Artemis 2 launch. You can go back and watch that, where we covered the launch, and we watched it all.
That's thrilling. Yeah,
very exciting.
Yep.
Yeah,
so do we.
And also check out on the Super Mater Brothers podcast channel every Wednesday. We're covering episodes of Survivor. Last night we were talking about the Blood Moon. Not the same. Well, I guess it's like the same moon that the Artemis is going to, but it's bloody. So look out for that. And I think those are all.
You've done that. You've tried that one twice, Dave, and it's just not. It's
not working, eh? Yeah.
No.
Well, that's how it goes. Anyway, happy Easter to everyone who celebrates. Happy Passover, and anything else I'm forgetting. We hope you have a wonderful long weekend wherever you.
It was great to have some of the Mater family with us today too. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Great to drop in.
Ted, awesome to see you again. Kind of miss you on these shows from time to time. So.
I barely miss you, Ted, but once in a while I do.
It's okay, Ted. I've taken over calling Jody an idiot in your.
She has. You would be very proud of her, Ted.
There you go.
Yeah.
Someone's got to keep me in line.
Yeah. You can't. Don't tell him Gary Seven's not cool. All right, and with that, we are going to sign off for tonight. We'll play out this clip from the episode, and we will see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. Everyone, thanks.
This is just another page in history, isn't it? Will this be the end of our civilization? Turn the page.
This isn't the end.
You say that with remarkable assuredness.
With experience. When the Borg destroyed my world, my people were scattered throughout the universe. We survived. As will humanity survive. As long as there's a handful of you to keep the spirit alive, you will prevail. Even if it takes a millennium.
See you next time, everyone.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.